Today I'm going to show you the basics of reading a family tree, a genealogy chart. And we're going to use President Calvin Coolidge as our role model here. Calvin was born in 1872 on July the 4th, the only president to be born on July the 4th. He was a simple president, a simple person, and he would appreciate me keeping this video simple, so I'm going to be simple. When you have a family tree, you usually have the parents. And so in this case, we have Calvin and his wife, Grace. It'll always have the birthday, where the person was born, when they were married, when they died, and where they died. Sometimes they will have had more than one spouse. So in the case of his father, Colonel John Calvin Coolidge, the first wife was Victoria Josephine, and the one designates that that was the first wife of more than one. Now, you won't always have all the information, but usually you'll have the city and the county and the state. You'll notice that in this case, we just have Hancock. We don't have the county. We don't have the date of death either of this person. That's common. As you get up into the charts, you get less information. So this person here, Calvin Coolidge, had two sons, John and Calvin. One of them died while he was in the White House. They played tennis one day at the White House, and one of them got a blood blister and he died. And Calvin was never the same after that. Now you can see on here that there's some interesting information. For one thing, this person, Calvin Coolidge, died around age 60. He died a lot sooner than his wife, 1957 versus 1933. Men usually outlive women. This chart here is the standard example of a family tree. And let's just go through how to get some information from it and how to read it and how to use these kind of books. Calvin Coolidge had probably the largest family history of any president that was researched. Just look how many pages this is. So let's just look closer at Calvin Coolidge. First of all, there's his information. Above him will be his father and his mother. Everybody gets a number. In this case, the child is the number 1. So number 2 is the father, number 3 is the mother. Number 4 is the father's father and the father's mother. 6 and 7 are the father's father and or the mother's father and the mother's mother. This area is known as the maternal line of the ancestry, and this is the paternal line. Often, when you do family histories, you'll find out that the cousins got married to each other, and that can really be interesting. But in this case, it's pretty cut and dried. So this person, Calvin Coolidge, President of the United States, he was a vice president, one of 8 that succeeded a president. Warren Harding died, he became president. He was the son of Colonel John Calvin Coolidge. The military title will always be abbreviated. And his father was born on my birthday in 1845. And was married to Victoria, and she didn't live that long. She lived about 39 years old, you can see here. But the interesting thing here is that Calvin is son of Calvin, John Calvin, is son of Calvin, is son of another Calvin. Now if you want to go check a person's lineage, starting with the paternal lineage, you usually just start with the person's father's father's father. So you go up here, and so Calvin's grandfather was Calvin Galusha Coolidge. His dad was Calvin Coolidge. If you want to continue that, you've got to find chart 2. This is chart number 1. Everything's in numerical order to some degree. So here's chart 2. And there's the person on the prior page, Calvin Coolidge, born 1780 in Bolton, Worcester, Massachusetts. Married December 9th, 1814. Died in 1853 in Plymouth, Windsor County, Vermont. His father is now going to be number 2 on the second chart. And his father's father is number 4, Josiah. And son of Obadiah, son of Obadiah. That takes you to chart number 15. So we have to go a few pages further. Here's chart 15. There's Obadiah, born July 20th, 1663, died in 1706. So his dad was Simon Coolidge. This is number 2 on chart 15. And Simon is son of John Coolidge, who was the second husband of Mary. You see that with the 2 there. William Simon, who's on page 41. And we could go on and on, but this gives you some idea of how to read a chart. So going back to page 1, you can do the same thing with his wife, Grace. She was Grace Goodhue, and her father was Andrew, and married to Lemira Barrett, and Andrew's father was Benjamin, married to Carolyn Andrews, and Benjamin Goodhue's father was Ebenezer. I could look that person up on chart 10. I could look up Benjamin's mother, her chart on 11, and so forth. Now, you'll see that sometimes you don't have information. Lemira Barrett is the daughter of Townsend and his first wife, Sarah Wheeler, but they haven't filled this in yet. And I happen to know a lot about the Wheelers. I'm a descendant of the Wheeler family too. There's a lot of information in there, and sometimes you need to go to a website like Ancestry.com or Family Search, and they'll have more information you can fill in. This is kind of a pre-electronic version of family trees. Nowadays they're all on computers, but I still prefer this version because it's so easy to use and so easy to understand. So if we wanted to find Grace's paternal lineage, we could go up to Ebenezer Goodhue and look on page 10. And here it is. And there is Ebenezer Goodhue, born in Ipswich, Essex County, Massachusetts. And his first spouse was right there, Mehitable Knight. And he was son of Ebenezer and Sarah Potter, who I'm related to. And interestingly enough, the Potter information is widely researched, but it's not in this lineage. And as you can see, you can go up the lines here, and this is just the 10th chart of many, and most of it's filled in. So, in a nutshell, these are fairly easy to research. You just follow the numbers. And if you want to go back, or you're stumped, or you don't remember where you came from, in the left corner it always tells you number 1 person on this chart is the same person as number 24 on chart number 1. That helps you go back and find the page that this came from so you can stay organized. Another good resource when you're researching presidential information is World Book Encyclopedia, because in World Book you will always find information on the president, who preceded that person, and a little biography of the person, their childhood, their history. I find combining these together makes it even more interesting if you're researching presidential family history. I hope this was helpful, and I'll follow it up with another video soon.